You know why I'm rolling up my sleeves? Because we're putting in work and we're getting deals. I'm Boanka with the Compass team.
And it's Safraz with the Compass team.
And today we're going to be talking about how we're getting deals in this market. It is a buyer's market right now. And we're going to be giving you real life examples of our clients and some of the amazing deals that we've been able to help them get over the last 6 months, let's say.
6 months, yeah. We're halfway through the year. So it's good to see, what we've been able to do over the last 6 months. It's actually incredible looking at the prices on my numbers, guys. I've been looking at numbers in real estate for over 10 years. And I'd say like the last 6 months been solid for our buyers and investors, simply put.
Now, there's a lot of deals out there, but the biggest reason that you're going to be able to find a deal, number one, you will not be able to find a deal if you're not out there looking for a deal. If you're not in the market, if you're not seeing places, if you're not putting in offers, you're never going to find a deal. You're not just going to sit there and someone's going to call you and say, I have an amazing deal. Because if there is an amazing deal, because I have a client that's just like that and says, when you find an amazing deal, send it to me. And I just sent him an amazing deal. This seller wanted to sell so bad. It was like it was a $600,000 property, selling it for $500,000. They needed a quick closing. They needed people to move, and he wasn't ready. And guess what? Somebody else took it. It was gone. Those good deals like that, they're gone very quickly. And you have to be someone, if you have cash ready to go and ready to buy, that's the only way you're gonna find a really good deal off market. And when someone calls you and says I have a really good deal, you have to take it. But other than that, for the majority of people, you need to be out there and you need to be looking for deals and be in the market. So, Safraz, what would you say is going to be the number one way that you're going to be able to find a deal?
The number one way to find a deal,
or the number one reason why somebody's going to be giving you a better price,
of course,
on their home.
It's a need, right? It's a supply and demand. So, if a seller needs to sell.
When you say needs, what is that?
Need means, let's talk about it. These are the bad situations. Divorce, bankruptcy, unable to pay the mortgage because the rates were too high for them. Something happened in their life. Maybe they need to leave the country. We never know. But those type of situations typically mean there's urgency.
What about if they've already bought?
Even better. Now, if they've already bought, their closing is, let's say, 90 days. They need to sell their home within those 90 days. And they need to, most times, have the purchase, the house they're selling, close before that or very close to. Mm-hmm. You can't just say 6 months later, right? It doesn't work like that. They need to have. So I would say specifically, number one, definitely, is they already bought. Very important. Otherwise, it's the other situations I said. Divorce, bankruptcy, financial issues, those type.
No, you're never going to know any of this until you're out there and looking. And basically how it happens is you don't start out with, let me find a great deal. You can also look at price. Usually they're going to be priced on the market, how the market is. But you go look, what is something I like? Find places that you like. Maybe this one, I like this one, and I like this one. But it really depends on who's going to give me a better price. Right now, we have over 5 months of inventory. There's a lot that's available. Yep. So you go out and you look, what do I like? But then after that, one of the first questions that we always ask is, why is this person selling? Once you know why they're selling, now you find out how motivated they are.
Yep.
If someone is not motivated, you're not going to get a great deal.
Of course. Like, if there are some people, like, yeah, it'll be great to sell, but I don't need to sell. Mm-hmm. They're not really interested in actually selling. They just want to test the market. First of all, that doesn't work as a seller right now. But as a buyer, there's no motivation, right? What's the reason why they want to sell and close in 90 days? Those type of people, unless it's a beautiful house and it's like the best house in the best area on the best street, it's better to, as an investor or someone looking to get a good deal, we talk, we have the conversation, we could still try it. Because if, our client loves the house, we'll try. But you could tell very quickly and early that they're not willing to let it go at a good deal.
Yeah. Okay, my sleeves are rolled up. We're ready to get into the deals.
Yep.
Which deal should we get into first? I'm gonna be talking more about condos. Safraz is gonna be talking more about freehold properties. Which condo should we talk about first?
I think you should talk about the condo that your clients just got. 2 weeks ago.
Which one?
65 Bremer.
65 Bremner. Okay, so 65 Bremner. This is an Airbnb building. One of my favorite buildings in the city. 65 and 55 Bremner. I actually own 2 properties there. And now, there was one property, very nice view. That's this unit 4807. This is the one. It was listed for 540. Been listed for a long time. And carpets were not in good condition. The baseboards were all beat up. The walls needed painting. There was no light fixtures anywhere. There's a whole video that you can watch on our page talking about all the renovations that we did and kind of how that looks. But that one we were able to get for 504,900, just under. We're just gonna say 505.
Simply put.
And they were listed at 540. Now, there was one floor above, exact same unit 4907. So this one was nice. Okay, when I say nice, I mean it was painted. The baseboards were brand new. They also had carpet, but they changed out the carpet in the bedroom, and they put new laminate flooring down in the bedroom. It was just clean. It did have a little bit higher ceilings as well. These are the major differences. Okay, this one was listed for 569.
It's 570.
570. We sent them an offer at 520, and they didn't even respond to it. They said, we're not even gonna sign back. This is embarrassing. How could you even think about this? We would never sell our place for this low. And I told them, listen, we're going to go to the one right below. We're probably going to get it for a great price. And now it's going to make yours worth even less. But, you know, every seller is different. Some sellers are very hard-headed. Some sellers, they just really want to sell. The one that was in 4807, they really wanted to sell. We made the deal happen. And now 4907 is actually no longer on the market. They've decided not to sell. And that's just kind of how it goes. But there are still a lot that are available in that building. But I bought a unit for myself about a year ago, and that one I got for 542.5, something like that, 542.5. And at that time, I thought it was an amazing deal. I said, if I can get this under 550, I will take it in a heartbeat. Even now, still today, I'm not mad that one is sold for 500,000. I still know that was an amazing deal, and that property is still gonna have a lot of equity come 2028 when the condo market, what I think is gonna happen is the condo market is gonna be able to rebound, just because right now we are very saturated. There's a lot of completions that are happening, so there's more supply. More supply equals you can get a better price, less demand. So the best thing about it is in 2018, we'll be able to show you, in 2018, there were properties that were selling for 490,000, roughly 500,000. So we're able to get this property at 2018 prices.
That's incredible. 7 years.
7 years. Now, there's so many people who I've met and they say, oh man, I'm waiting for things to crash. I'm waiting for prices to be lower. I'm waiting for blood in the streets. Listen,
there's blood.
There is blood in the streets right now. There is deals to be had. So you can see. And then now let's fast forward, or I guess if we're going backwards, but we're going to a higher price point. In 2022, 2023, we're able to, there was these exact same property, exact same unit, I would say not even as nice. These were selling for over 650K. So 500,000, 650K. Just to get back to where we were at the peak, I mean, that's $150,000 of equity right there. So personally, I think that the asset is amazing. There's good cash flow that comes with it as well. I think the asset is even better than the cash flow that's going to come with it. And I think these Airbnb properties in this building this is one of the best deals that you can find out there. And we have other videos that just strictly only talk about that. So definitely go back and watch those. And if you just want to know more, you want to talk to us,
of course,
click the link below, set up a discovery call with us, and we'll be happy to talk about that. But now let's move into freehold, and I want to talk about your personal property. Now this is Safraz's personal property. Now this is like as real as it. You fully believe in something if you're out there right now and you're buying something for yourself right now. But walk us through kind of the price point, where it's gone to, and everything in between.
Yeah, so I want to hit on one point. Blanca said you have to be looking and in the market. You know, naturally as an agent, I'm in the market, always for client. But I know in the back of my head, I have a certain two properties that I like. There's only two singles, a bungalow or something that's already a bungalow that's been built. You know, I've been looking here and they're window shopping. I like to call it window shopping just so I know what's going on, right? You know, we mentioned in a couple of videos, I had no intention of buying. But I said, you know what? If something comes up, I'll buy. It's a great time.
He had his intention of buying. He's told me many times, I'm going to go see this place. I'm looking at this. But he's just very selective with what he's trying to buy.
Yeah. Very selective, very picky. Just trying to, you know, if I'm going to buy something potentially as my forever home, I wanted to check a lot of boxes. So I've been looking. I've probably seen over 100 properties in the last couple of years just for myself. Some of them checked all the boxes, but the price was super negative, right? We're talking like 2.2 million, 2.4 million, definitely above 2.2. So I saw this property on the market for a while now. They also wanted at one point 2.129. So let's call it 2.1 million in the last 7 months. And I saw it online, like, oh, it's a really nice house, but I'm not gonna buy it for 2.1. And I saw them drop the price. Talk
about the drops.
The price, so they started at 2.1, then they went to like 1.98. We're talking $40,000 on 2 million. It is not much, 2.1, right? Then they dropped it down to 1.829. I'm like, okay, like I see they want to sell. I saw 1.779. I'm like, okay, like, you know, it's interesting. I still didn't go to see it, but I've seen it online 5-6 times. Then, you know, they went down 1.679, 1.629, and then when I saw it, 1.599. That's when I was like, oh, this is like very interesting.
That's when and had you already gone in it yet?
No, not yet.
Okay.
So I saw it, I'm like, oh, they dropped the price. I'm like, this is interesting.
Quick question. So from 2.1 to 1.599, how long did that take?
It took them 7 months.
7 months, okay.
7 months, right? And I was like, oh, like now this is very interesting. So I told my wife before we got there, like, hey, we're just gonna go see this property. I haven't talked to the agent yet, but I was just curious to see why. Sometimes there is a reason why they're unable to sell the property. So I went to see it. You know, we walked in it. I was like kind of building interest. But before I walked in the door, I told my wife, we're not buying this. We're just looking because I think it's a great deal. Because I haven't seen a house like that for that price for 8 years, maybe 7-8 years. So even behind 2018. So we went inside. We walked outside. We're like, oh, this is a really nice house, and at 1.6, this is a 10 out of 10 deal. Someone should buy it, either me or a client. Then I need to understand why are they selling, right? That's very important. So I did some research, called the agent, and they're like, no, we want to sell. I said, how soon? They said in the next 10 to 15 days, we want to sell. That was their answer. As soon as he said that, the agent, I knew, all right, let's, like for myself, this is, not even just a client perspective. For myself, all right, let's get serious. Let me see what I could do, right? Mm-hmm. So right away, the same day, this was Saturday at 5 p.m., I was at a party. I was like, okay, party is here. I went to my car, pulled out my laptop, started writing the offer, right? And then we went back and forth a couple of days. So
you found out that they were very serious.
They had to sell.
Okay.
Okay. Not... Like, they had to sell 7 months ago, actually.
And you would have never found that out if you didn't go see the place and you didn't talk to the agent.
Exactly. Two of the things must have had to happen. Talk to the agent to understand, right? Because sometimes you see properties that you're like, why is it so cheap? Oh, it's an offer date. They still want 1.8, 1.9, maybe 2 million. But I had to clarify that. Like, no, this is our real price. We're open to negotiation. There's some room. I was like, all right, this is like, I haven't had a deal like this in... I haven't seen even for myself client on the market for a very long time in that area specifically.
So talk to us now about the negotiation. How did the negotiation go?
Naturally, I straight up, it was a little tougher because the seller in their head.
Give us numbers.
Okay, the seller in their head, they still are in the 1.8, 1.9. That's what they think it's worth. And you know why? They bought it in 2021. All right? How many years is that? 4 years ago. 2021, they bought it for 1.875.
Jeez. Jeez, that's a tough loss.
Yeah, and this is before the market peak. This is a year before the market peak. The market, it was worth maybe 1.9, 1.95 around that time. So they got a decent deal. So in their head, they're like, I just have lived here for 4 years, and I'm gonna lose $300,000 if I sell it to this guy, right? So we negotiated. It actually took. I did put the offer the same day, Saturday. I didn't have the offer accept. They didn't accept the offer for a week. It was a lot of back and forth.
Yeah, but we want to know the back and forth.
The back and forth. Okay,
we want to know the numbers. People always want to know what are we gonna offer.
I love negotiating. It's fun for me a little bit. It gets the blood flowing. So I offered 1,475.
Listed at 1,599 and you offer 1,475.
Yeah, 125K below.
And what did they respond with?
They responded at 1,590.
So they dropped, what, 900?
No, they dropped 10,000.
9,000. Okay.
9,000. Sorry, yeah, they dropped 9,000, and
so they felt disrespected for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
If someone said something like that, then they feel disrespected, and they have the right to feel like that.
Course.
From we know what they bought for, but we also have to know this is where the market is right now, and whenever we're representing ourselves, whenever we're representing our clients, we do the best that we can do for you.
Exactly, it's the same strategy, right? I could have easily just offered them 159 and said, all right, cool. Right? So, they signed back at that. And I said, hey, you know what? We're not close enough. Like, does your seller really want to sell? Or are we still kind of, they still want, just asking, basically asking.
You guys going to do another price drop?
Yeah, what's going on here? And then I was like, I'm not signing back at 1.59. You guys need to come down a little bit, right? So he's like, okay, Safra's like, you know what? I understand. Like, you want this house. Let's work it out. So I did sign back. I signed back at like 1.51. So I went up a little bit. Mm-hmm. My jumps are much higher because I was willing to buy it at... I already knew this was a 10 out of 10 deal before it even started.
And you're just showing them, hey, listen, I really want to buy it. I wasn't trying to disrespect you.
Yes, exactly.
But we were just getting the negotiation started.
Of course. So, I had to show some good faith. So I did come up a little bit. And then they were still offended for some reason. I'm like, you've been on the market for 7 months. There's urgency. And you're telling me you need to sell in 10 days and you still don't want to negotiate? Like, it is a challenging conversation. But because we do it all the time, it's a lot easier. I'm not going to have an ego behind it. Because I understand it's a game of numbers. And thank God that I was able to kind of, educate the agent on the market's not where you think, maybe, or where your client thinks. And if they want to sell in 10 days, I'm the only person that's probably going to buy this in the next 10 days. So let's work this out. They took 3 days, they came back, and they said, we need to sell exactly 1,575. And I'm like, it's about 25K below their asking price. And I was like, honestly, I don't think that's going to happen. Talk to your buyers, talk to your sellers. I'll come up a bit, don't get me wrong, but we're not there.
And what was your last offer again?
My last offer was 1.5.
Before they sent that?
Before they sent they sent 1.59.
No, but they sent 1,575, but what you sent them before?
1.54.
1.54 to 1.575. So
we're close.
We're about 30K off.
Yeah, we're 30K off.
Okay.
But I knew I had a feeling, just gut feeling, that there was some more room. So then I said, hey, you know what? My final offer is 1.555. Best and final. Take it or leave it. That took 2 more days. And they're like, no, we need 1.575. Oh, they came down to 1.57. And I was like, listen, we're so close. We're talking about 1%.
15K away.
Yeah. And if you look at the property price, that's 1%. We're fighting over 1%. But, we did come to a middle ground and it ended up at 1.560.
1.560.
Yeah.
That's well done. Well done.
Thank you.
And now, when was the last time you could buy this type of property for 1.560?
I'll tell you exactly. When we look at houses, the condos are different. You can find the exact unit. Houses is really hard. Every house is, unless you're in like a suburban area, it's very unique, right? This house, the builder built it and sold it in 2018 when the market was low for 1.490.
Jeez.
1.49. So I paid 70K over that. But now the market is so different, 1.5 million 7-8 years ago was for a house was a lot of money.
Yeah. So now, basically, you bought at 2018 prices. You said they bought it in 2021 for how much?
1,875. So 300 and a little bit over what I paid.
And what's the highest that any property like this ever sold for?
Any property like this in that area, easy 2.2.
Okay.
Maybe even, I would say like minimum 2.2.
Okay, so 2.2 million, and you're able to get it for 156. Then when we're talking about deals, when we're rolling up sleeves,
This is the real numbers, right?
This is what we're talking about.
So that's $640,000 below the peak.
Okay, so this is people always ask like, how do we do it? What are we gonna offer? Things like that. We know how to negotiate.
Yeah.
We know how to find great deals, and we know what's a great deal, what's not a great deal, and we do have your best interests at heart. The same thing that we're doing for ourselves is what we're gonna do for you. Let's talk about. Okay, I have another client who bought earlier this year. And what she said, her thing was, I want to get a great deal, and I want to get a newer condo. We looked at many condos. We found one for 600. I don't remember what it was listed at. I just remember they signed 635. We signed 620. And we just ended up being 5K away on price.
So you guys negotiated the deal, and you're 5K away.
There's negotiation. We're 5K away.
Again, 1% different.
Yes.
Like if you look at the percentages, 1%.
And these guys were a little bit newer on the market, and they weren't ready. They wouldn't give that 5%. And she just said, I can't believe like there's so much available, and they won't even just over $5,000.
Yeah.
And she walked. So just know like. People, as a seller, I'm telling to any seller, just know when you have somebody who's serious, who's ready to buy, don't battle over $5,000. Just, maybe in a different market.
Yeah,
but in this market, do not battle over it. You don't get greedy. Take what you get, move on. And then when you go buy something, now you get greedy.
Exactly.
Okay? But not as a seller, do not do that. Anyways, we found something else for her. 620,000. She was very happy with it. But again, this one was listed higher. This one was listed at 650. We were able to get it for 620. And the other thing, she would have been happy with 635. She said, I really like this. I would be happy with 635. I said, I think we could get you something better than that. Got her 620. She was ecstatic. She couldn't even believe it. A lot of times when I would tell her the first offer that we're gonna put in, she said, no way, no, we can't do that.
You can't offend
but
them.
she trusted me, and she said, oh, well, if that's what you think we should do, then we did it.
Yeah.
And now to put things in perspective, in this exact same property, this is unit 1502, this exact same property, unit 5102, in the same building, exact same layout. That one sold for $810,000 in 2022.
Wow.
Okay. Now some homes hold their value better than other homes.
Absolutely.
It really depends on what you want. She wanted something. There's no work to do. It's beautiful. Like this is a 10 out of 10 unit, right? So is also when you're finding these beautiful homes, it is going to be harder to get a deal on those because more people are interested in that.
Exactly. So right now, like if there's a 10 out of 10 property, there's still demand for it.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it be a condo or a house, there's still a lot more demand for it than the average or below average properties. And the best way to, if you're looking on we're talking about end users mostly right now, we're end investors, but the best way is to get to, save money up front, right? You're saving 30, 40, 50, 100K up front. Long term, that will help a lot, especially when the market, fingers crossed, knocked on wood, in the next 5 to 10 years corrects itself.
Yeah. Okay, tell us. I know you got another freehold property that you just worked with someone on.
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
So we, I had a client looking for a larger bungalow. There's bungalows, different sizes. A larger bungalow in Scarborough, close to Scarborough Golf Club. We were looking. We saw houses between $1 million to 1.3, the same market. So we're talking earlier this year. we saw really nice homes, the same size but really nice, selling still multiple offers. We saw one with 16 offers in February. That's like, 16 offers is like in today's market is a lot. We were looking, and then we found one actually. It was really nice. They wanted a bungalow that had an attached garage, and nice beautiful backyard and large bedrooms, but also a super large basement. I'm talking 1,200 square feet basement that you could build a 3-bedroom unit. So we found it. That property, they had it listed all over the place initially. So they had it listed, I would say, for about 60 days or so, or a little longer, and they wanted close to 1.2. When we saw it, it was listed at $1,080,000. We had a look. My clients loved it. By that time we saw a lot of property, so they're like, "This is the one. We want this one." Clients were okay to pay, around $1,050,000 or so. But I was like, you know what? I think we can get a deal. Let me get to work. Our first offer was like $960,000 or $950,000. They didn't want to sign back. They're like, Safaraz, we're like $130,000 off. I think our house is the best house on the street, as everybody says. They're like, this is the best. And at the time, it was the best house on the street, to be honest. But I was like, I think you could, we could work something out. We'll give you your closing date. We want this. We gave them kind of favorable terms. They wanted a little longer closing because they wanted to go rent, but they haven't even started looking because this process for them has taken too long. Mm-hmm. So we actually ended up buying that for $1,005,000. So $1 million, let's just call it $1,005,000 is what we bought it for. They had it listed at $1,080,000. Okay, so we got them $75K, and a lot in that area. Even at the exact time, we're selling still for $1,001,000 to, I would say, still $1,080,000. The exact comp on the same street, same size house, sold for $1,1120 like 2 weeks before, which is why they were using these as comps, right? So we still got it for, I would say, let's say $80K below what they priced it at. But the crazy thing is, we're talking about 2017, 2018 prices. Houses like this 2 years ago in that area, the highest sold is 1.43.
Wow.
1.43. Mm-hmm. So compared to that, this is what, $425,000 less. And if you go back to even 2018 for this size home, we have some comps for $1 million exactly. So again, we are able to find 2018 prices. We're erasing, as a buyer, this is like the best time in my looking. I've been looking at real estate for 15 years now, just looking at numbers and all that. This is like one of the greatest times in like my lifetime. Let's call it that. Mm-hmm. In our lifetime, this has been the greatest window of opportunity because you're able to erase 7 years of appreciation.
Yeah, and we're not just saying this. We're not just out here just saying this. Oh, go buy a house, go buy a house. No, like Safaraz literally just bought his family home. Me personally, I just bought an investment property. Like we know this is an amazing time. If we could buy more, I'm sure we would be buying more. But we're here to let you know there is amazing deals out there. Yeah. We're not trying to sell you something. We're trying to help educate you and help you understand. Yeah. The reason that for us it's like so easy and we want to get out there and we want to get them is because we're so educated and we know like we're buying at like 2018 prices and we know where the market has been and most likely where it's going to go back up to there. It's only a matter of time.
Yeah, it's the same thing with like when I always say like if you look at the real estate market, the stock market, any kind of open free market, when people always say like, we hear it all the time, when the market crashes, you tell me I'm ready to buy today. The truth of the matter is when the market has crashed or is crashing, I'm not just talking about Toronto real estate, I'm talking about real estate in general and the stock market. Go look at it. When the market is hitting its bottom, you can easily check stocks, the volume. The volume is the least volume there that would be way before it crashed. People like to buy when the market is going like this. Why? FOMO. Right? Everybody has FOMO. Oh, my friend bought 6 months ago, it's gone up 50K, or if it's a stock, it's gone up 20%. I should buy today. But when it's going down and they don't, it's really hard for them to convince themselves. That's why I would say like keep your mind open to the idea, right? Mm-hmm. If you're waiting for it to crash, how do you know it's crashed? After it hits the bottom. And after it hits the bottom, you're like, maybe it's just a little correction. But if you really look at the stats, you might be here again, right? You might be, if we're talking 2018, maybe you're at 2020 prices and you're like, oh, I should have bought it when it's 2017. Not everybody life in height, that's so easy to do, right? That's why if you keep your eyes and ears open, reach out to a professional, know what you're looking for. Don't just say, give me a deal. Where? GTA. Where in the GTA? Anywhere. Like, it makes your life harder because, there's, how many listings are there? 5 months of inventory. How are you going to look out for yourself, right? You won't know as an investor or an end user what really is a good deal. So we have to narrow it down.
Yeah.
Know your areas, and then easily you can find out numbers in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Like you said, it's very important to know. We have over 30,000 listings that are available.
Yeah.
There's a lot to choose from. So it's just getting a better understanding. And if you don't know where to start, again, click the link below and just set up a discovery call, and you'll be able to find out where to start. Now, especially even if you're a first-time home buyer, so many first-time home buyers, they think you need 100,000, you need 200,000 to get started. Listen, if you got 25,000, you can get started. I'm not saying you can for sure buy a house, but like Safraz keeps saying, be open to the possibility. Let us know. We can put you in touch with a mortgage broker, and you may be able to buy. Now, I have a client. He didn't think he could buy anything. He said, man, I'm only approved up to 400,000. Everything costs more than that. I said, man, don't worry. We're going to help you. We'll find something for you. Now, what we did was we actually found we looked at some places in Brampton. We looked at some places in Hamilton. There was one in Hamilton that he really liked, but it was like an older building. They didn't even have a washing machine inside it. So that one was a no-go. It's also much farther away for him to get to work and things like that. But then we came across these ones in Oakville, and there was 3 of them, very similar units, and they were all priced at 400,000. So we went to see them, and after talking to the real estate agents, all of them wanted more than 400,000. As a first-time home buyer, that's very annoying to see. It doesn't even make sense. What must have happened was one person lowered their price, wanted to do an offer date. Everybody else says, well, we got to make sure we get seen. These people were at like 470,000 before, so they dropped to 400,000 too. But these guys, when they bought 2 years ago, they were buying for 485. Now, again, these are first-time home buyers. Usually, if you're buying at 485, you're a first-time home buyer, and they don't want to lose out on that money. But they're gonna lose out on money. A lot of people are. If you bought recently, you're probably gonna be losing out on money. One thing we recommend is just when you're buying real estate, think more long-term.
Of course.
One thing Safraz always says is 5 years.
5 years minimum.
Yeah, if you think about real estate in 5 years, almost always after 5 years, you are gonna make money. So at least be able to say, I'm gonna be able to hold on to this. I'll keep this for 5 years. As an investor, that's a great way to look at it. So these same type of properties. So ended up getting it for 405. Again, this is these numbers. This is 404,900 keeps coming up. So that's a good one. Yeah. People will accept that offer.
Yeah.
But again, this is something that we just add in with our negotiations. But yeah, we started as low as 370, and these guys wanted 420, 430. Yep. One of the properties this is why I'm saying how you get deals. We went to one property, the one that he liked the most. But they said, no, we're not going to go under 420. We will go to 418. We're not going under 420. This one, we were able to get them down. He liked this one as well. Same building, not much of a difference. But he was able to get it for almost $20,000 cheaper, let's say $15,000 cheaper than the other one. And he's very happy with that home. And this just goes to show you can buy in the GTA for 400,000, and Oakville is a great place to buy.
Oakville's really nice.
Yeah, like Oakville always is pretty good at holding the property values, and I do think it will appreciate faster than a lot of other areas.
Yeah, for sure.
But again, it comes back to the amount of supply. We went to the building. There's 3 of them that are available. We have the upper hand in that negotiation.
Exactly, and at the start of the video we said, why does a seller want to sell?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, those 3 sellers, apparently they wanted to sell. but one wanted to sell for 420, the other one maybe a little higher. But then we found the one that was like, you know what, we really want to sell.
Yeah,
and
you know what this one was?
Yeah,
it was a divorce.
There you go.
So everything that you talked about was a divorce.
Yeah.
The other people that she wanted to sell. She was gonna move in with her boyfriend, but because she bought so much, she was gonna be losing money.
Yeah.
She didn't want to go lower. Yeah. It was gonna hurt her too much.
Urgency, right? Why did they buy yet? Was it a divorce? They need. When I say need, it's a very strong need to sell.
Yeah.
And then because we found out the seller's motivation to sell, we saved the client. This is where, you know, everything he said was within like maybe 3 to 4 days, maybe 5 days or less. All of that saved the client what, $15,000.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is what we're saying. Like, there are deals. If we didn't go see these places, we would never find this deal. You don't just somehow just walk into deals. You have to be out there. You have to be looking. You have to find the property that you like also. You don't just go and oh, there's a great deal, but it's like, I have a big family, but I'm getting a small condo. Like, no.
Yeah, there's so many deals, but it's like, that's why we say, like, you know, real estate, it is a product, but it's a unique product. Every product is different.
Yeah.
You know, even within the condo, right? You can find one that's fully renovated and one is trashed, right? So that's why you have to know what you kind of want, limit those options. Because if someone said, find me a deal, there's 30,000 options available today, potentially. Amount of listings, 30,000. That's the amount of potential deals available. How are you, as an end user, going to sift through 30,000 different products, right? Now imagine we narrow down the area, the location, by price. Oh, okay, maybe I'll rent it out for 2 years if you're an investor and say, I'm going to move in, so I want something to keep that in mind, right? Do you want a duplex? We want to keep all of these in mind, right? That's why it's narrow down your options, because if you have too many options, you get overwhelmed. That's why when people say, find me when there's blood on the streets, they're like, there's too much blood on the streets, I can't see anything, I can't find the deal, right? It's keep your mind open and narrow it down. That's and I'm telling you also, we've done it, like literally this year ourselves. I knew exactly what I want. I told you at the start, I wanted 2 products. That's it. There's no other product as like for me to live in that I wanted. Not a single thing. And I knew exactly the area I wanted. At most by 3 kilometer distance is what I knew. So I knew the area and the kind of houses. That's it. And that's why I was able to find that deal. Otherwise, for sure, if I said, find me a deal somewhere in the East End that's a detached garage, maybe a double car garage, maybe a single 3 to 4 bedroom, you know, like it opens up too many variabilities to narrow down, find the motivation, and get that actual deal.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's definitely deals that are going to be out there. We appreciate you staying with us throughout this whole entire video. We hope you got a lot from it. You guys are definitely our favorite people. And now, if you know somebody who could get a lot of value from this, send this video to them. Let them know there's a lot of deals that are out there. And even like Safra is saying, knowing exactly what it is that you want during our buyer consultation, that's exactly what we do. We go through every single point and we find out exactly what you want. Now we can bring you the properties to see and find you those best deals that are out there. But I'm Bawanka with the Compass team.
And it's Safraz with the Compass team.
We hope you really enjoy this. Share it with someone, like, subscribe, all of that good stuff. And we'll see you guys on the next one.